Welcome everybody to Morel Dogs. On this podcast here, we're going to talk a lot about morel mushrooms and dogs and putting them together. I'm Brian Wilson. I'm the head trainer and owner of Wilson's Dog Training. And with me today, I have...
I'm Carter Hart. I work for this big guy.
Sometimes he works. But anyways, let's get into the Morel Dogs.
Okay.
How did we get started with Morel Dogs? You know, the whole idea of morels finding mushrooms. Anyways, dogs finding mushrooms. I've heard of people talking about this. Why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? When I first started training over 10 years ago, I immediately got into some scent work. I was always interested in scent work. It just fascinated me. The dog's nose. Well, I also do a ton of mushroom hunting. And so it just made sense that we could put them together. We could teach dogs the scent of mushroom and teach them to find them. So that's kind of how I got started with it. And you got to realize mushroom hunting, especially in the Midwest, is very popular. I've heard of people slashing people's tires because they're in their hot spot. Threaten to kill people if they go to their spot. It gets crazy. People get pretty defensive over their spots, which I believe, if it's on your own property, yes, right. It is your spot. When you go to public land, it's all of our spots as the first person to get there.
Yeah.
But they do go crazy over it. The morel mushrooms, one of the reasons they go crazy over it is because of how good they taste, and they're only come up certain times of the year. So you have April to May. You have that time zone of going out there. What's your thoughts on the taste of them? Because I think they taste delicious, but I also cook them different than you.
So how do you cook them?
Eggs and cracker.
Okay.
Okay.
I've tried it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But usually my buddy sautés them.
See, I've never really had it that way much. It's something I am going to try.
It is good.
Especially this year, because I've got some dogs that are coming up that are awesome. I have faith in finding a lot of morels this year. But anyways, go on.
You think Jake's going to be a morel
this
year?
I think Jake's going to be a morel dog. But I also have Beth. I think Beth's going to. But anyways.
So are you saying Beth is your favorite?
Beth is the best. Do you like the taste of morels? Let's get back on subject.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I think most people who try them love them. It's the taste of them and probably the hunt of them because they're so rare. You know, sometimes some people are like, I never find any. Or then you get them guys who are like, oh, I found 20, 50 pounds this year. But we all have our hot spots, and the more hot spots you have, the more you're going to find. Unless you have dogs, then you don't need hot spots. You just let the dogs find the hot spots for you. We'll talk more about that later.
I've never used a dog before.
Yeah?
And that's probably why I only find 10 or 15. And that's all we get.
Pounds or mushrooms?
But like just single, like 15.
10, 15 total.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. To be honest, I only find enough to eat most of the time. So it's a pound or two tops until the last couple of years. And with the morel dogs, I love watching dogs work. It's one of my passions, that scent work type stuff. So we go quite a bit more now. And moving forward in the future, we will continue to go more. Like I said before, they only grow from, well, I don't know. I've heard of, because this could go out to all across the United States, like down in Georgia and Alabama, which we're from Illinois, central Illinois. So, but have you heard anything about like the growing season down there? Because I think it starts earlier.
It's like in February, I think.
Really? Like Georgia, Alabama?
Yeah,
I know
Alabama,
northern
California.
Alabama, didn't mean to interrupt you there,
No,
northeastern, because we've been down to Alabama for a Morel Dog show, and it seems like northeastern Alabama is where they grow, but I never really asked if they found them in February. That seems really early. I mean, we're almost middle January, and it's like 20 degrees with 2 inches of snow outside.
Yep.
So another month, it just seems hard to believe we would have mushrooms. But maybe down there, the weather's probably different.
Yeah.
I'm sure every year. I know the end of March. And you guys, if you know something different, comment below. Let us know. get us on the right track, because some things, especially out of our region, we don't know a lot about. But I was in Tennessee last year, morel hunting around the first, might have been the last week of March, and we found some down there. And of course, the first week of April, down in Shawnee National Forest, we went down there, we found some. But besides that, in the Midwest where we're at, like Central Illinois, it's April to May is usually the growing period. So there's not a lot of time. Not a lot of time. They're harder to find, so it makes them very valuable. And of course, when you add value to things, people get pretty good. And that's part of the value to the morels is they taste good.
So you know with everything going on, like with California and the fires and all that?
You know, it's kind of sad, but especially when I'm working hardcore, working on certain things, so we've been working hard on getting this podcast up going. I don't let myself go out into the outside world. I keep that tunnel vision, so I stay focused. So,
Right.
Long story short, I do not know much about it. I know it's happening. From what I hear, from what I've heard a little bit, it's like very devastating to the people out there.
Yeah. I was watching videos and like these firefighters are just pulling like photo albums from houses that are like mid-burning. But anyway, did you know morels can still grow like after like a forest fire?
You know, actually, I did a little research on that last year because we was to a state park here in Illinois, and I can't give away my hunting holes. But anyways, they did a controlled burn that year, and so the question I had was, grass was starting to grow. They did it earlier in the year, February, March, and it was now April, or end of April, I think. I was wondering if the morels would grow in that burn, but I heard that the following year, from what I researched, the following year in that burned area makes it really good. So I think what I've heard is like up in Michigan, they do controlled burns, and after a burn, or just maybe a natural burn, they find a ton of them in them burns. So I have heard that. We're going to go back to this spot this spring to see if there's a lot of morels in that controlled burned area, just to see. Because we went, like half the park they burnt, the other half they didn't. We searched the half they didn't. We found several morels on that side. So we're wondering if we can find more on the burn side this year. We'll see how it goes. We'll let you know. Once we get into morel season, we'll definitely keep everyone posted of how the season's going.
You're saying you're going to take me with you?
I didn't say that. You got to sit here and work. Someone has to work. All right, trying to navigate my computer here. I am not tech savvy. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. Jesus Christ. These computers. Let's get back into the morels.
Okay. So.
What's up?
I learned. So when I was younger, I was probably like 10 when I first went morel hunting.
Aren't you only 14 now? Oh, sorry.
It's fine. Go on. Yeah. But I used to just pull them. Like I didn't realize that there were like people have like tools that like.
Yeah, they do have tools, but from what I've researched, it doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah. So I think, and there's some back and forth that you get on the internet and people get pretty adamant about this. For what I understand, they used to use, some people still use the tools, but the mushroom's not going to grow back from that stem you leave behind.
Right.
It's going to be from the spores inside the morel that you knock off on the ground, and of course the other fungi underneath the ground, if I can talk. That's where they come from. So just by pulling up the roots and all, you're really not hurting it. I know for a long time that's how the knives come about, and everything is they thought that you had to cut them off so the roots stayed so they would grow. They don't. They're pretty sure they've proven that not to be true.
Oh.
But a lot of people still believe it.
Yeah,
for me, I don't want to get in we got to do it this way, we do it this way. My big thing in life in general is as long as you're not hurting anybody or anything, do it your way, I'll do it mine.
Yeah.
It all works out. My grandparents pulled them from the roots for years. They went back every year and found their patches still there. just do what's best for you and enjoy doing it. Live life, right?
Yeah. So kind of into your training and the dog finding morels, do you think it kind of like takes away that joy of finding them yourself?
You know, I've been asked this question. This is something that comes up. So I guess it just depends on the person. You know, this is something you would have to ask yourself personally. Me, morel hunting with the dog is a lot better. I enjoy it more, like 10 times. But I enjoy watching dogs work. I enjoy hanging out with my dog. So, you know, before, for whatever reason, I never took my dogs with me mushroom hunting. Even if they could go, I just didn't. You know, we was out there to find morels.
Yeah.
Now I have my dog who hunts alongside me, so now it just makes sense to take him. Now I get to spend more time with my my dog. It's a win-win for me.
Yeah.
There's no downside. Some people will say, well, it takes us away from the hunt. Well, it depends on what you're looking for when you're out there hunting. And once again, I think this is an individual preference. You know, everybody should do their own thing. If you just enjoy the hunt yourself, go do it. If you enjoy watching dogs work, train some dogs and take them with you. I love the dogs.
Yeah.
And well, that's the reason for all this, is because I love morel hunting with dogs. I love shed hunting with dogs. You know, dogs and a job outdoors is what I love. So
I think it'd be fun to have Bo by my side.
Bo. No, Bo's not a morel dog. He's slacks a little bit. So we're talking about Jake and Bo, and you'll hear us talk about Red. I raise labs here. I use labs for my morel dogs. You'll be seeing them if you watch any of my YouTube videos of them hunting morels and stuff. But I have 3 pups, Jake, Bo, and Red. Bo is like the kennel's favorite. Everybody here loves Bo, but he's the calmer dog. He's not the go-getter like the other 2. So he's more of a pet dog, if you will, than like a good working dog. Not that he won't work. He will do work. He probably will be a morel dog, but he's not going to be my best. I don't believe. Now, he's made a liar out of me a couple times already. I didn't think he'd do anything. This dog, when he's a puppy, would go and hide if the other puppies got in the pool. You know, he was scared of everything. But we've worked him through that, and he's a lot better dog now. And actually, he's, like I said, a kennel favorite. But we'll see how he does. He's going to stay until he proves me wrong and becomes a morel dog.
Well, he can stay as long as he wants.
Yeah. Anyways. But that's kind of how I come on to the using labs and morels is, well, I have a passion for labs. It's my favorite breed. My second favorite would be pit bulls, but my first is labs, and that's just because they're a little more versatile when it comes to working. So we can work with labs, you know. I love pits. They're great dogs to lay on the couch with and chill. Labs are just more versatile. They're going to work for you. Especially if you get a working line, you know, you'll be able to morel hunt. Like my dogs, I teach them to morel hunt. I teach them to track wounded game. I teach them to find sheds. I have one dog, she's gotten sick on me. Started off with kennel cough. We turned it into pneumonia, we do believe. She's on the mends now. She's getting better. But I want to have her trained as a duck dog to see if she can do it all. One dog do everything very, very efficiently. And if one dog could do it, she would be the one that would be, as far as in my pack, the dogs that I have, she would be the one that would do it. So when she gets better, and now that she's starting to get better, I'm expecting her to come in heat, so we're going to wait to get through the heat cycle. But then we're going to train her, and then when we get through the heat cycle, we'll be in morel season. So sometime this year, we're going to send her off, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the gun dog trainings. I'm going to have someone else do it because it's not something that I professionally do. You know, I've played around a little bit, and I could probably do it, but I'm looking for this dog to be the best that she can be. And with any training, if you want a dog to be the best, you need to send it to someone who knows what they're doing, or learn it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm slowly learning it, but I'm not there yet. But Beth is the dog that will build a duck hunt, goose hunt, dove hunt, you know, then go right into tracking wounded game in the winter, fall, winter months. Coming back into spring, she'll be able to shed hunt and morel hunt. So I believe she can do it all. And, well, how you prove it is you just do it. So that's my goal. Hopefully by this time next year, I can say that she's retrieved ducks, that she's tracked deer, and we're getting ready to find sheds. So, but we'll see how that goes.
And she's the one with kennel cough that's getting better.
Yeah, she's the one that's sick. Because technically, you know, and this has been going on early December. We started, I have a kennel, a 40 dog kennel. We do more than just training here. We do daycare, we do boarding. And then we also do training, basic obedience stuff. But like, as you hear here, my passion is more the scent work. So that's kind of where I'm going off. I have employees like Carter who take care of the kennel, who train dogs. But for me, I'm doing the scent work. But anyways, so our kennel got kennel cough. We struggled on getting rid of it. It's kind of become a revolving door a little bit. We finally got it out the door, but in that process, my personal dogs got it. And then Beth, all the rest of them went through it pretty quick. Just a couple days of coughing and it was over. She has been coughing, and it's like I said, it's getting a lot better. Like I don't even think I heard her cough today, but she has been coughing and sick for a month, maybe close to it. At least 3 weeks, probably pushing 4, you know. But and I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe it wasn't even kennel cough she had. Maybe there was a virus going around that turned into pneumonia. And because we thought it was kennel cough, we didn't worry too much about it because they get over it pretty quick. But anyways, yeah, she is and will be my best dog on the property.
So is there any like viruses or like, you know, like COVID where you can lose your smell and your taste?
Yeah.
Is there anything that can like affect the
I
dog?
don't know. I hope not.
Okay, good.
I really hope not. But that is an interesting question. Might make me do some research on that.
I had COVID one time. It was like my first time getting it. And I was towards the end and I lost all my taste and smell. And my mom was putting like pepper, jelly, beans on a spoon, and she was making me eat this nasty ass stuff.
Why? Just because she didn't like you? Or?
Yeah, she just wanted to punish me. Like,
punish you. I think you're full of shit, but whatever. Anyways, I got COVID once, and I lost my sense of smell, and then after that, I have never truly regained my, you know, if you put stuff up close, I can smell it.
I can tell.
Where are you going with this?
I was gonna say you stink, but
So you thought that, didn't you? Yeah. No. Anyways, so like when I walk in the kennel, and you know we have boarding daycare dogs, we have potty dogs that have potty issues. We have dogs that end up going shitting in their crate at night, and then when I walk in the morning, sometimes I can't even smell it. Which is good on my end, but at the same time, so my sense of smell is not as what it once was. Well, anyways, we're not a COVID podcast.
no.
We're a Morel dog.
Yeah.
And speaking of smells, do you know how well a dog can smell? I mean, could you even find like examples of what they can smell?
I mean, not a whole lot. I just know that they're like insanely good.
Insanely is a good word to use. I know that, we're not going to go too deep into the sense of smell because we're going to do a whole podcast on a dog's sense of smell and how we use that sense of smell to teach them to find morels. But I will say that, like, you know, they have dogs that can find things underneath water. And I don't know the exact depths. I'll have that later on. But it is crazy, like, how well a dog can smell. My belief is the reason a dog can't follow like a 3 or 4 day old track is because they've never been taught. Right. I would find it hard to believe that they couldn't smell the scent. I'm talking most dogs, you know, the longer nose snout dogs. You get short nosed dogs, and we're not even talking about those, you know. Not that I don't love, you know.
Angus.
Angus would not be a good tracking, or a Morel dog. That's if you knew Angus, you would. Yeah. Anyways,
Oh,
back to the smell. Their smell is amazing, and we will talk about that probably in the next podcast. I don't. Why can't I get this damn computer to work? I.
is it the computer or is it you?
Well, with that being said, so you said the most you've ever found is like 10 or 15 morels at one time?
Yeah, and that was all because we didn't find anything all before that. But we were driving like on a side-by-side, and I had to pee.
Lazy man's way. I got it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I had to pee, and we stopped on like the top of a hill, but like it went down, like there was a bunch of trees and whatnot. And I peed, and as I was peeing, I was just messing with my stream, just going back and forth. But right next to where I was peeing, there was like a whole line going down the hill of like 15, 20 morels, and it was
She was like pissing on the morels?
yeah.
Oh my God. Well, that's the reason you're not fighting them. You can't see them. You definitely need a morel dog.
No.
My God. Pissing on the morels.
Things got magic.
I can't even do this. Okay. Oh my God. I have been on several successful morel hunts with and without dogs. Last year was a bit tougher for me and the dogs. Actually, probably one of my worst years. I mean, we found some, but we didn't. I guess when we have our good years, we come across patches, right? Well, you know, anytime you walk in and you find a patch where you pick 5 or 10 pounds, you had a good day.
Yeah.
Or more. This year, we did not run into those honey holes at all. We ran into a ton of singles, 5 or 10 morels here. And we tend to it seemed like we was covering more ground to find those. I'm not for sure if it was just a bad year, if my dogs was having bad days, or if I was just taking them in the wrong areas. I don't know, but it wasn't the best year. We have had years, The idea of a morel dog is you take them to the woods.
Right.
You can walk a line. You have to play the wind. The only way a dog's going to find a morel mushroom is by smelling it. So you got to play the wind. So the wind's blowing this way. There's timber that way. You're walking down a fence line with your dog, and you just let them do their thing. And of course, if there's any morels in there, when they run by, they're going to catch that scent. They're going to go to it. Then you just follow them in and pick. And a lot of times when you do that, you run into them hot spots. You walk in, you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And you just fill in the bag full. And we just didn't have it this last year. But that's the idea of them. Play the wind, cover more ground, cover it faster. So if like he was wanting to use, like a lot of people sell morels. I mean, have you heard the prices of morels? I've heard a lot of different prices, because I talk to a lot of people about morels. Some people just give them away, and then some people just want to make a little extra money, so it's like $20 a pound.
Yeah.
And then there's guys who want to make a living off of it, who are doing like $50, $60, $70 a pound.
Yeah.
I heard people taking them up to Chicago and sell them for even more. To each their own on that. I don't, if you want to sell them, if you want to make money, what I do know is when you have a dog, you can cover a lot more ground. And know that if you have a good dog, know that that there's no morels there, and move on to the next property. And then that gives you a better chance to hit those hot spots, those bigger patches. If you're doing it, to trying to make money off of it. And I see nothing wrong with that. People go out ginseng hunting and stuff like that to make money. So there's nothing wrong with it.
People sell drugs. All power to you.
And on this podcast, we only do legal things.
Correct.
All right. Moving
We're
forward.
talking about shrooms.
Not that type of shrooms.
Right.
I think you might be confused. Anyways. But a well-trained dog. A dog that's been trained properly. A dog that you get to love that smell. Because that's the idea. You get the dog to love the smell. Once they love that smell and they learn that going to that smell and indicating on that gets them a reward, then when you're going through the woods and they smell it, they will go to it. They will indicate on it. One things I've heard people ask me and be concerned about is, because you mentioned other mushrooms, is the poisonous mushrooms.
Right.
You know, they're like, oh, your dog's gonna end up indicating on the poisonous and eating it. Well, first, if you've trained properly, your dog's not eating the morels. Now, I know there's never a 100% guarantee, right? The dog could go up and eat it,
right.
You know, no matter how much training you do. They're dogs. It's a possibility. But in my experience, over the years of training and using dogs to find morel mushrooms, they have never hit on anything but a morel mushroom. I don't know, for me it's like, okay, I'm gonna teach my dog to find this type of drug, but I'm worried about him hitting on this type. Well, if he's never smelt this type, and I think the issue is that people get caught up on, well, it's a fungi, it's a mushroom, so that surely they have the same smells.
Right.
Well, I can't even fathom how well a dog smells, but they smell things different than we do. And I believe that there's certain odors in the morel that they smell that they're hitting on.
Right.
And no other mushroom smells like it. I've never had them hit on anything else, even tried to. Now, they have these, what they're called false morels, that kind of look like the regular morels. Do you know what morels? Well, you found morels.
Yeah.
What do they look like? You just got them stuck in your pocket? Well, look at there, he does. Just keep them in his pocket. So that's what morels look like.
Yep.
Just pull them out of our pockets. And so they say there's a false morel that's poisonous. It looks a lot like that, but it's solid. So real morels are hollow on the inside. They say they're solid. I've never seen them, never hit on them, never even picked them or seen them in all my years of hunting. So they say they're out there. I believe they're out there. Maybe not in this area, maybe so, but I personally never seen them. So I can't say 100% that my dog would not hit on those, because I've never been through that scenario. But what I can say is, all the years, and we've been doing this 3 or 4 years now, I've never hit on anything but a morel mushroom. Never even tried to. So I do not believe that is even a concern.
Yeah.
If you've trained your dog properly, there's no worries.
And those false ones aren't like poisonous or anything.
No, I heard they are.
Are they?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's the issue with them, is they look like it, but they're poisonous.
Okay.
And then there's an aspect that dogs can eat a lot of different things that we can't. You know, a dog could go eat a dead deer, and if we did it, we'd get sick.
Right.
You know, so there's a lot of things. I'm not saying your dog could eat mushrooms, poisonous mushrooms, but it's just not something that I worry about, because it's never been an issue. So,
I think we should start another business, and we make chocolate flavored dog food.
chocolate is poisonous to dogs.
Yeah, no, it's just the flavor. So then they get to know what it tastes like. Not like actual chocolate, like.
You think it'll be a better treat for rewarding our Morel dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right. So, I talked about the win. We've kind of bounced around here, but getting back onto the win and training, you have to train your dog in different scenarios. You have to use different amounts of scent. You have to if you always train your dog where they walk within 10 or 20 foot of a morel and they go to it, that in training, that's going to be about all they can do in real life. Mm. You need to show them that morel all the way down that ridge line, 100 yards away, if they smell it, which if the wind is right, they will smell it. But it's going to be a weaker scent, so it's going to be different to them. It's not going to be the same. So that scent, you'll need to teach them that they need to go to that also. And I just do that in increments, do 20 foot, 25, 30, just keep going out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of training involved in getting these dogs, not just to find the morels. Getting to find morels and indicate on them is the easy part, but then you got to put in the work of teaching them, showing them different scenarios. Take them out on a earlier in the year when you know you're not going to find any, and just go for a walk and show them that they're not always going to find something. And then when you get back to the car, make sure you reward them for their efforts. You're going to have runs even with a dog where you don't find them. If they're not there, they're not there. So when you're training your dog, show them every scenario possible. It's very important.
Is that why you're kind of still training them like in the snow?
That's the reason why I train all year. Yes, I'd never give up. Because I think the more you train, the better it'll be. Even though we're going to do a training scenario in this training room later this afternoon, it will be a YouTube channel on the YouTube channel. But the idea is just keep him going so he knows has to go to that smell. Indicating on that smell gets him rewarded. Keeping it fresh in the mind. That way when we get closer to morel season and it's a little warmer outside, there's not 2 inches of snow on the ground. Also keep in mind, we are in a kennel. We have barking dogs occasionally. So you might hear some barking in the background. I apologize for that. But when we get closer to the spring season, I won't have to go through all the basics because I've kept that up. And then as we get closer, I'll start adding more and more. And so I'm going to, but this is something that I'm passionate about. I love to do. So I always go a little overboard on my training, but I'm going to show him my old dogs plus my new dogs that have coming up, every scenario possible. Find them down the ridge at 100 yards, find them right here. Or they'll walk by one, they'll circle downwind and pick it up almost where they were standing. They just didn't smell it because of the wind blowing. I just show them every scenario possible that I can think of in the woods. And that's how we get them that's how we find the most morels. That's how we cover the most ground and all that. So, and by getting a morel dog, taking it out with you, in my opinion, you get a better bond with your dog.
Yeah.
First of all, training your dog creates a better bond. Anytime you train anything with a dog, you'll get a better bond. And you get to hang out more. I mean, heck, I would much rather hang out with my dogs than hang out with you. So.
Oh, great. I would too, thank you.
You don't like yourself either? All right. So, anything else about morel dogs? I think we kind of covered everything. But if I can get my computer to work, I think I don't know. I give up. So we have notes here, bullet points, if I could get to them, and I can't. So is there anything else we need to talk about besides go train your dogs? I do have an online course that you can purchase where you can train your own dogs at home at your own pace. I think we are working on a few of the details to get that out online, but very soon you will be able to purchase that if you so choose. Anything else? Remember to leave us a review, share the podcast with your fellow mushroom hunters, and just let us know what you think. This is our very first one. We kind of stumbled through it, but my guess is that's the way we're going to do all of them. We're just going to talk about morel dogs, talk about mushrooms, talk about dogs, and everything in between.
It was kind of chaotic, but I still had fun. It got me excited for the season, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, talking about it.
Yeah, we're a little ways away, so we shouldn't get too excited.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to end this here. Thank you again, and we will see you next week.
Bye, dogs. Peace out, dogs.